Can I get a couple?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The good news is, what we do here, we are in total control. And that's one of the things I love about podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
Love him.
He's the king.
Yeah.
Howard Stern may think he's the king, but Joe Rogan is the king. He has more downloads. And his commercials are amazing. I don't know if you listen to them.
Commercials, not so much.
Well, he does his own commercials for sponsors.
Okay.
And what I love is that it's so free his way. He doesn't read the script. He's like, hey, go to Blue Apron. They have great food. It doesn't taste like shit. You get it delivered to your house. Don't be an asshole. Go to Blue Apron.
Leave him a goddamn tip.
Yeah. And so, you know, he doesn't have to act like a badass. He just is.
Right.
That's one of the things I love about him. Can you see me here? Should I move over? All right, I want to kind of face just a little bit this way. These chairs are not the most comfortable.
Hey, at least these have cushions.
Yeah.
And they're not on wheels because I was with Shorty Rock and he's like, so show me some of your moves. And the chair was on wheels. And I'm
Some
like,
of your moves? Like dance moves?
no, like exercise, fitness.
Oh.
Because, you know, that's what I do.
Well, yeah, I know
Right,
that.
right. So he was like, show me some things that we could do, like at our desk, you know, while we're at work, or like just kind of like fit it in or stretch. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and use this chair. And I even pushed it up against the wall. And I'm like, okay, Rachel, take your own advice and be very careful.
Yeah.
Like, don't try this at home.
That'll go viral.
Right. No injuries.
What's up, everybody? We're back in the lab. Today we're here with Rachel Ledford. She is the owner. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. I said the name right.
Yes.
Sorry, I can't grip
Are
stuff.
we doing just audio,
No,
right? We're filming too.
we're filming too.
Okay, so I need to okay.
Yeah, but you know what?
Not
That's
so
just
much.
gonna fall away.
Okay. Okay.
That's what Patrick, his expertise comes in. We're having a conversation.
Okay.
Like we did on the phone.
Right.
Radiant One Studios.
Yes.
Okay. I keep saying that over and over because there's some things that just fall out of my head. Tell me when you're ready. What's up, everybody? We're here back in the lab, and today we're joined by Rachel Ledford. She is the founder, owner, operator of Radiant One Studios. And before we get into that conversation, we want to thank our sponsors, the Tampa Club, Tampa's premier dining and business club that sits way on the top of the Tampa Bay area. Also, thank you to Merchantside Marketing Group. They do websites and marketing, and they are killing it right now. Thank you to Isham. His group really does a great job, and so we're going to roll right in and ask Rachel a couple of questions, and she's going to really let you guys get to know her. So tell us more about this Radiant One studio.
It's fabulous, really. I've been open for about a month.
1 month?
1 month.
Oh.
Yes. It came kind of all of a sudden. I mean, I've been in the fitness industry since high school, really, since my weight loss journey, you know, had begun. But it's a wellness studio. So a lot of people come to me, oh, so you just opened your gym. No, I didn't. It's not a gym. It's not a fitness studio. We do fitness there, but I believe more on the wellness side of things, such as the holistic. So I believe in like mind, body, soul. I do, you know, yoga, Pilates, guided meditations, that type of thing, as well as strength training, personal training, group classes. And I also offer some support groups. So people that don't really know where to start, or maybe they're not involved, you know, in their journey just yet.
Okay. So that's how many people are doing what you do, right? So when people say, oh, you opened your gym, or, oh, you're a trainer and you know, Instagram the heck out of your abs, right? So you're talking about Pilates, you're talking about, you know, guided meditation. A lot of people don't even know what that is. So how many people are doing that right now, do you think?
Well, I think you're right, where a lot of people aren't familiar, they're not aware, or maybe they're just not even open to it. I mean, a lot of people think meditation and they see people that are sitting there like kind of rocking back and forth, and that's not
crisscross applesauce.
Right? It's not always the case. I mean, some people do that, but it's definitely being in your center. So really just kind of finding your calm within the storm, so to speak, synchronizing breath and movement. That's kind of where I got started myself. So when I started with the yoga, that's how I learned my breathing and my breathing patterns, and then how that benefits each movement that we do throughout the day, whether that be intentionally or unintentionally. So it's very important, and a lot of people kind of overlook that.
Do people think that you're a hippie?
I do get called that, yes. I do. And I call it free-spirited because that's what I believe in. So that's really where I come from. And you ask how many other people are doing this, there's a lot. There's a lot of people that are doing their own thing. However, I feel that it's very much an experience. My service is unlike any others just because, well, it's me, unique individual, unique personality, and the support, that comes with my services, I believe is really huge.
Okay. Tell us about the weight loss journey that you mentioned earlier.
My weight loss journey actually began in high school. So it's kind of crazy. I have clients that come to me and they say, I just want to get back down to my original weight. Well, for whatever reason, you've had children, you've gone through a divorce, whatever brings them to that point, they want to get back down to their original weight, like I mentioned. Well, it's kind of crazy because I've never had an original weight. I've always been heavy set back in high school. And then again, that's where I started. So specifically, it was junior year. I was introduced to the vocational school type concept. So my home school, that was freshman and sophomore year. Obviously, I could have continued junior and senior year. I chose to go to the trade or field for floral design. And that's really what changed everything for me, not just with the fitness and weight loss. Just being introduced to new people kind of got me in a little bit of a different side of young adulthood, so to speak. Kind of introduced me to a new crowd. And through that, I really kind of began my journey, but experienced a lot. And it was a rough path, to get started. We can kind of dig a little bit deeper into that, but
Well, if you want to open that up, that's okay too.
yeah.
And so let me just I'm trying to, have some clarity on that. You decided to do, you went on your weight loss journey and you were in floral arrangements design. But high school was not, it was a while ago, right?
Yes.
And so what made you make the transition into what you're doing now?
Been in many different career fields, and I found that this is something that is an everyday part of life. And I really kind of coach that and I stress that, where it's like a lot of people start for different reasons, but for me, I believe it's an active lifestyle. You find something physical, something that brings you wellness, whether that be mentally, physically, really in every aspect, of every day. So that's kind of where I got started with it. And that's kind of what keeps me going, really. It's just, being that role model and living that active physical lifestyle.
Okay. And so you started just a month ago.
Yes,
right?
my doors have been open for about a month. Yes.
Okay. And, you're beginning this entrepreneurial journey. But in the past couple of weeks, I've seen you all over social media.
Yes.
All over.
Yes.
So that's great. That's one of the ways to do it. So what separates you, aside from it being you, from how do you reach out to people or let them know that you do this thing that's different, aside from saying, well, you get me? And they can say, well, I don't know you. You've only been around a month.
Right.
How do you get past that barrier?
Well, that's a very good point. And I think that that's something that I consider obviously every single day, multiple times. And I used to use the word struggle, and I don't struggle anymore because I am on a different mindset. And a lot of that too comes from my mind, body, soul. But for me, I am reaching out to the community. So through different things such as this. And then also I just joined on with the Chamber of Commerce in St. Pete.
St. Pete?
Yes. Okay. So I did my initiation with them on Wednesday as a new member. It was a really great turnout. A lot of people like myself, like-minded, professionals. It was very inspiring for me. So glad that I did it. Just getting everything set up. A lot of information to take away from that. So I'm still kind of gathering that and putting it together. But, obviously I'll be active with them. And then they had a member appreciation night last night. So it was just 2 days of really awesome energy. Some similar faces that I ran into. So kind of building those relationships already. And also, too, I offer the support groups, like I'd mentioned. So with that, I advertise on social media, but then also I have a runners group and a walkers group. No charge to do this, obviously, because people are out doing these things regardless. So I put myself in the community. So I actually host these at Azalea Park. It's about a block away from the studio, roughly. So I
Okay.
can get from the studio to the park walking maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
And most of the time I do walk there from the studio. So it's just something I like to let people know. It's right around the corner. You're already close. A lot of those people that are already there live close by as well. So it's just something, get to know your neighbors kind of thing. And that's where I'm looking to start. And then possibly expanding to such as like a beach run, because that's a whole nother, whole nother group of people.
Sure.
So
Sure. It's interesting because as you were saying how you joined the chamber, it took me back into my mind just a second of how I don't think we've had one episode here, and correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick. We haven't had one episode here where we didn't talk about a chamber of commerce.
it's huge.
And so a lot of people think that they can just, have their business and, why do I need the chamber? Why do I need to pay them? Well, because it's a membership organization of like-minded people.
Absolutely.
I have to kind of touch on this because even before you came in, we were talking about the Chamber of Commerce. I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce, multiple chambers, and currently I'm a member of Brandon's Chamber for 11 years,
Right
and
on.
I sit on their board of directors. I'm not
It's
tooting my
awesome.
horn. I'm saying how important I believe that is. And if you have a business and you're not building relationships in one of those forms, then you're missing it. You're basically just selling to people. And there's a huge difference in loyalty when you sell to people and when you build relationships. Yes, people want results and they want to pay for results, but they want to buy and interact and even sell back to people that they know with a strong relationship. So
Absolutely.
you touched on that. I think that was a great move you did joining the chamber. They'll be supportive. They're not there to grow your business. They're there to help you along that journey while you grow your business. And it's a kind of a fraternal order of things,
Hmm.
a rite of passage, kind of being allowed to, not allowed, but being able to network with people that you otherwise wouldn't be in contact with.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great takeaway from that. So if you have a business and you're not part of a local chamber of commerce where your business is, you should do that, and you should not miss the boat on that.
At least look into it, and this
Yeah.
is just one for me. I mean, there may be more to come, but definitely so very happy that I did. And even just going to the event, last night. So it's 2 days in a row, you're seeing the same faces. And I kind of stopped myself because I noticed that I come in, I got my name tag, signed in. And again, I'm kind of looking around, checking out the space, and I stand off to the side.
Oh, well, that's common. New people.
Very common,
Yeah.
except the old me would have just stood there and waited for somebody to approach me. I've come so far myself. That's my personal journey, not just, the weight loss portion, but it's my own personal journey that I'm like, okay, Rachel, this is a 2-hour function, right? You have all your material. You've got your cards, your flyers. You're ready to go. You're amped. You're feeling great. And I was on time, right? So it's
Oh, well.
like, that's huge. I mean, people were coming in at different times. So I stood there, gathered myself for a minute, got everything put together. And I'm just roaming the room, making my rounds and talking to people, which, again, that's so much like outside of the old me. So, I mean, for me, that was huge in many different ways, and it felt great.
Okay. So I love that. I used to stand on the side, and I'm an extrovert, and so I would kind of latch on a little bit to those people who have experience. Maybe they're ambassadors. They'll take you around, introduce you to people.
Hmm.
I don't sell well at all, and I don't sell what we do or what I used to do. I sell me, and that's what people really want anyway.
Right.
Right? They don't care about. It's not about selling the plane. It's about selling the destination, right? People want to know who you are, how you do it, and they want to trust you.
I remember you saying that when we had talked previously, and that actually kind of like had come about in my head multiple times, since we had spoke over the phone until
Yeah,
today. So
yeah. This is our first time meeting,
this is
and this
great.
is our second round of. We have people on the show that we've never met before, and we never really did that before until a couple of weeks ago, and so that's something that's kind of new for me, and so I'm still learning the people that are sitting across from me, and I want to learn that, and I want anyone who listens to any of our shows to learn who this person is and what you do and how you do it, not only for business but in your life. We want to remember I said we want to share your journey.
Exactly.
I don't care about your accolades. I care about how you got there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's great. Are you reading books currently?
I'm open to some new. Basically, I'm looking at doing more podcasts
Okay.
myself, and then I do a lot of what's it ebooks
Oh,
as
okay.
I go because I'm on the go so
Like
often. So
audio.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
audiobooks. You know, put
What's
the
the last
put the
one you
earbuds
listened to?
in.
What's the last one you listened to?
I actually have not started yet.
Oh,
I'm in
wow.
I'm in my beginning phase.
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's the Slight Edge, the Outliers, the E Myth, Traveler's Gift. I mean, I can go on and on.
I was gonna say I'm
I'll send
open.
you a list
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
for sure.
The one thing, I'm currently reading. I just actually finished a book about adversity and overcoming adversity. It's called Can't Hurt Me, David
Okay.
Goggins. That I think you would really enjoy because he had his own weight loss journey. He lost 100 pounds in 90 days,
Wow.
and he became probably the most savage person on the planet Earth. He's running ultra marathons, like 200 miles,
Wow.
broke the pull up
Yeah.
record, like
That's gotta happen.
4,020. So, yeah,
Whoa.
it's Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, all of those things. Anyway, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. That's one of my favorite books.
Yes.
Um,
Noted.
so if you're not reading now, that's fine. I mean, so what are you doing to learn more about your business, or is it just this and you just kind of this is my area. I'm an expert, and you continue to go, or is there coaching or anything that you're getting, being that it's so new?
I'm looking at some networking groups as well. I've attended a few. One, I was a guest through BNI. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, BNI.
Yes, BNI. Open to that. And also, my most recent one was through RGA.
Okay, I
And
hear good things about RGA.
yeah, I've been to a few of those, and they're welcoming me back again. So I'm looking at kind of joining them. It's a really good group that I find that I really kind of bond with pretty well. So,
Isn't that multiple groups? Like RGA, you can visit multiple groups that are in
yeah, I found them
that
actually
region.
through the meetup groups, and I joined, through there. And I've actually connected, had one-on-ones outside of that, and I haven't even joined on yet. So they're very welcoming. Um, a gentleman who's also a trainer, him and I met. He's into CBD, which I'm very open, to that, not very familiar. So
Okay.
the CBD oils and all that type of stuff. But again, I'm kind of like that whole holistic, um, seeing what's out there. So it's like I'm networking, but also expanding into other services. And with that being said, also the support side of things is I aim to bring in guest speakers or guest instructors, so people that possibly teach outside of what I'm certified to do. So just kind of opening people's minds. I really believe in that. I think that's huge.
Okay. What are you certified to actually do?
I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm
With
also
whom?
ACE.
Okay.
Yep, American Council on Exercise. That's been since December. I've been training, way before that, but officially certified in December. So very excited to kind of get going on that. Also continuing my education through adolescent fitness. So I'm going to kind of target the kids, getting that all lined up, kind of after my startup, phase, so to speak, which that might be a little bit longer, for some.
Startup phase can be 3 years.
Well, you know
It all
what?
depends.
Yep. I
Yeah.
got my running shoes on, so
Good.
yep. So
So being that it's very new. It's interesting because I've never really, I mean, I've interacted, but never really had a show where someone that's their business is a month old. It's infant. So what would you say the biggest challenges that you're facing right now, and be specific?
my biggest challenge is getting people to know me, not just my services, not just the studio, not just the area, not just the industry. So it's me. I moved here, actually just celebrated my 5-year anniversary in Florida,
Well, welcome.
beginning of May, which is when I got the keys to the studio. So it was a big moment for me. But yeah, I moved here from Ohio, and I have quite a following. We mentioned a little bit of social media, things like that. My following is from up north.
Okay.
So, not that I haven't interacted with, people here, but what I find is my inner circle, so to speak, here, they're already either in the industry, or they're already kind of doing their own thing. And the ones that may not be in the industry, Those are the ones that I'm working on converting. So tonight, actually, I'm having my blacklight pound night, which is really fun. That's one of the classes that I teach on a regular every Friday night. But I'm certified in that. It's also known as the drumstick class.
Okay, like
Yeah.
Blue Man Group kind of thing.
It's it's like cardio functional movement training. So basically, you just get like a wide variety of different tracks, different genres of music, and you've got these drumsticks. They're neon green, which obviously brings the blacklight effect into the mix. But I'm teaching that Friday nights for people who don't go out and party, such as myself. 8 o'clock, so it's still early enough if you are going out, you can still come by, that type of thing. Tonight, though, I do have a friend of mine, which I am training her complimentary, basically to kind of get things going, let people know the results. I just consulted with her a few days ago, but we did before and after pictures, got that going, also measurements, that type of thing. So she's a mom. She's a mom of 4. I get it. You're busy. So she brought her 2 daughters with her to the studio, and they're over there doing their own thing. They're doing the cardio drumming by themselves. Her and I are training we got the music turned up. It's very relaxing, but I believe in realistic, right? Like, this is realistic. People have kids. You go pick them up from school. You don't have anything to do with them, or like, there's no sitter. Bring them along, right?
Yeah.
So tonight we're meeting up. She's bringing a couple friends with her, their kids as well. So we're going to have a blacklight cardio drumming night.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
How many people would you have at this event?
To be completely honest, I'm still trying to get people in my door.
Okay.
Speaking of very fresh. So again, my friend, training her complimentary, she doesn't so much need the weight loss portion. She's more in the toning up phase. So definitely the before and after, I can see that there's going to be a big change. There's going to be a drastic difference. So complimentary for her, and she's kind of my muse, so to speak,
Okay.
So I'm having her check in with me on social media, doing the pictures, the little victory selfies where we're all hot and sweaty, that type of thing.
That's fun. That's cool. So you mentioned that you have, most of the people in your circle are up north, and they're already either in the industry or they're don't really require your services. I think providing free content is where you want to be anyway. And that content this is what we're doing, video, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't coach businesses, but I know what I would look for as a consumer. I think that if you, focus a little bit on the idea of those people you don't necessarily have to convert them. All they have to do is pay attention, and they'll come themselves. Right? You show it to them.
I agree.
And they'll come themselves.
Well, and what I'm finding too is that people are watching. They may not be responding, but people are watching, right? And for me, even before the business, for me, it's like some people really get stuck on the numbers, side of the social media. Like, oh, I got this many likes or this many followers. Like, yeah, that's nice. That's cool. Especially when it comes into the business, that definitely kind of takes it to the next level.
People just like it and move on anyway.
Well, I was going to say they like it because it's from you, or they like it because it's fitness, or you hashtag the right thing. Like, to be completely honest, numbers I think are a little overrated. But, for me, it's a matter of getting that out there, and the whole content. You do want to keep posting content. I'm in the process now of doing a lot more blogs, vlogs, that type of thing. I actually just did my first promo video. It's on Instagram. Instagram.
What's the? Go ahead and tell us what the.
It's under my Radiant One Studios. It's just a 1 minute. I was just gonna say because good old Instagram will let you post 1 minute.
Well, the
sessions.
Attention span. You have to consider that 7 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just some fun music. Just little introductory, quotes here and there, and then also my class schedule is at the end, and then also my rates.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. I mean, again, I know there's a lot of people who are trainers and they do different things, but people know them as trainers first and foremost.
Yeah.
What do you want to be known as?
I want to be known
in your business
as, I would say, as a wellness coach, and I'm still kind of stuck on the word coach because so many people use that and they use it very, you know.
Like life coach. Let's
Yeah,
just say it.
right. But the thing is I don't want to be coaching anybody, especially when it comes to the life coach portion. Like, I'm not coaching anybody how to live their life. But for me, that wellness part of things is, I really truly believe in that. And from other interactions that I've made through these networking groups or just in general through the fitness industry, a lot of the wellness side of things, people assume it's just the yoga, or they assume that it's just people who are the free spirit, where they're going to drum circles, which, yes, I do that as well. Not a hippie. Free spirit, not a
I don't know.
hippie.
Let me see those earrings. Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I really believe in getting your mind right. That's for me where it starts, myself, and just becoming active in the physical, active lifestyle. So,
Okay. I mean, you can always consider wellness consultant. I mean, the name of my clinic was A Touch of Wellness. And so we did physical medicine there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. The name is not really relevant. It's a matter of what you do. However, we talked a little bit about this too. Be clear first, clever second.
yeah.
Right? If you have some, I think there was a tanning salon place that had the name Radiant
I
Studio.
keep running into that myself, and then I have other people
Yeah.
that say that too. They're like, "Do you do tanning on the side?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I think they're a franchise.
Yeah, I
And,
think you're right.
and so you'll have those same challenges. You'll have different things that you need to navigate through. And you said one of your biggest challenges was getting people to know you. I think you think that's a challenge, but I don't think it really is.
I've been told that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are like, "Rachel, you shine, whoever it is that you're around, you find a way to relate with them, in some way, whether it's intentional or not." Like, again, very much like stand on the side type I used to be. And I'm just really not so much anymore. I want to get to know people. And I believe that we all have similarities, when so much we judge each other or we're comparing ourselves to one another.
Well, those are societal issues,
It
and
really is.
self-esteem issues.
It really is. But for me, kind of on the wellness side of things, it's like you let that shit go, right?
Yeah.
Let it
But it's
go.
not easy.
It's not.
People don't let things go for a number of reasons, whether it's fear, whether it's guilt, or accountability. If I
Mhm.
let this go, now I'm accountable for what I do next. I don't know. That's kind of the way I see it. I could be wrong. There are things that, I hold on to things that I probably shouldn't either.
I think we're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
For me too, a lot of it's the thinking positive, which that sounds so cliche, and it's like, yeah, okay, we've heard it, once. It's a given.
But it's a learned art.
It really is, and
Yeah.
it's something that becomes almost second nature. And then with that, like, I'm really big nowadays on the law of attraction. So getting into The Secret, for anybody that's not
Okay.
familiar.
I think
I've just-
everyone's kind of familiar with
Well,
The Secret.
I've just recently became familiar with that. So I started by reading the book and then found it on Netflix. And for me, that's really just kind of opening up a whole new side of my mental health and spiritual, health and awareness, really. So it's a good start for people. And that's kind of where I aim to target. It's kind of getting you right upstairs, so to speak, before you may be into the physical side of things.
Okay. I mean, your business is relatively new, and I'm sure you have a lot of things to share, the trial and error. But let's say you can leave a letter for your future self 20 years from now. What would that letter say?
Wow. I would have a lot to say.
Go for it.
Like, Rachel, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself enough credit. Like, for me, a big part of it is confidence. And I feel like that's probably what the majority of people struggle with, amongst other things. But confidence, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We, again, compare ourselves to other people where, my biggest, I don't know, I guess my biggest speech or recommendation to people is something's better than nothing, right? That comes into how I got started with my physical journey. So my biggest goal, I guess, is to be the support or be the the middleman, really, for somebody who's getting started. I didn't have that when I got started. I figured it all out on my own.
That's a tough one.
Well, I'm talking like body weight exercises. I didn't have dumbbells, even the little cute little ones you can get anywhere nowadays, any store,
Yeah, dumbbells at Target.
or the dollar store. Found that the
Really?
other day. At the
Dumbbells at the
dollar
dollar
store.
store.
Yeah, it was Family Dollar, right? So they have dumbbells, they have the bands, they have,
So I guess there's no excuses.
the belts. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I actually, on my Facebook page, I have a photo album and it says out and about, because when you are out and about, whether you're grocery shopping, you're getting ready to meal prep, you find stuff like that. And it's just like, look, if people don't know what's out there, you do now, because I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to show you, right? So kind of back to that support, starting out, it's like I figured it all out on my own and I'm here to kind of maybe fill in the gap for some people.
That's a good way to look at it. Do you have a mentor?
I personally do not.
You should find one.
I would love to do that.
One of the reasons many people don't have a mentor is because they're afraid to ask. And real mentors almost will always say yes. That's just what it is. And so if there's someone that you kind of like, well, I'd like to, maybe get more information from this person, or I'll have them as a mentor. If you ask, more likely than not, they'll say yes. Maybe they won't donate all their time or give you all of their information, but it's a place to start, especially if you're out here on your own, new business, still new to the area for the most part, kind of doing this all on your own. Yes, that's wonderful, but I think not doing it all on your own is even better.
Yeah, definitely.
Something to consider.
Well, and I'm very much the type, call it independent, but I do a lot of things on my own, whether that be just by choice or just like nobody's there to kind of follow me, I guess, so to speak, but very independent, where it's like, if nobody's with me, I'm going to go and do it by myself, right?
Yeah, that's a different thing too.
So, I mean, that's kind of where I come from. So a lot of it's, I've got this, right? I'm going to figure it out. It's all good. Well, yes, that's very true. But as I'm networking and meeting with more people and going to these groups, finding those like-minded individuals, I think a mentor is very much in the cards here very soon, near future.
I mean, it's just something to consider. So what are you an absolute expert in? Like the one thing you're an expert in, hands down, you know it, you wear it on your sleeve no matter what. This is your chance right here. What are you an expert at?
I would say building people up, right? So, I mean, I really do believe in people being the best version of themselves, again, whether that be physically, mentally, really finding who you are. So I'm a huge support system, inspiring, motivating, that type of thing. Like, that's what I aim to do. Not that I'm some type of, psychiatrist, and I don't target those type of people, because that's far from what I do and what I can offer, but very much the sense where my studio is going to be a place where everybody will belong. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from, what baggage you have. We all have it,
Sure.
And that's part of the whole, like, recognizing what it is that you carry. And then you come to my Tuesday morning, 9:00, full body stretch and meditation class, and you, again, let that shit go. You let it go.
I like that. So you have obviously a following from up north and some people, that you have relationships with. But I want you to tell us something that nobody else knows about you, or just something that most people don't know about you. Even some of those people in your network.
Oh gosh.
Right? We want to develop relationships with you. We want people to
Sure.
develop relationships with you.
Sure.
So transparency, right?
Yeah.
So what's something that most people don't know about you?
I come from a very small family, so my support system, is small, right? So my mom, my dad, which they're still up north in Ohio, and then my sister, she's in Virginia. So it's just, the four of us. And excuse me. So after I moved here, she was actually inspired. So she's 2 years older than me. When I was 13, she was 15. My parents split up. That's kind of what got me started on my fitness journey, which opens up a whole new discussion, and I say that I did everything the wrong way. Everything. When I first got started, I kind of stumbled across losing weight. And again, it was being introduced to a new crowd, my parents, going through divorce. So it was like very much a struggle in my childhood. And that's what got me started. But, with that being said, you know, I moved down here with an ex of mine, and he's actually back up in Ohio, and I'm just pretty much doing everything on my own.
Was he your ex when you moved here, or he became your ex after you
He
arrived here?
became the ex after, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but him and I we still keep in contact every so often. Still have similar common contacts and, friends and stuff like that. So, for me, I'm very much not so much a loner, but again, it's one of those things where if nobody's with me, you know,
Okay.
I'm going to do it regardless. So I don't really wait around for people, I guess is what I'm saying, which I feel like by me starting my own business, that very much puts me in the boat where I'm just going to go figure it out, right? Don't wait around for people, just go do it, you know? So as much struggle in the startup phase and the fear and question and doubt, all of that, I go back to the whole law of attraction and push forward, right?
You got to push forward, yeah. Whether the law of attraction is a law or an idea, doesn't really
The
matter.
idea of attraction.
Well, I mean, idea, placebo, it's all about attracting the things that you want. And sometimes you just have to go over and get them.
Right.
Right? You have to go get what you want. Um, I haven't really had many things given to me either. The only thing that's really been given to me on a consistent basis is opportunity. Everything else I worked for or I took it.
Absolutely.
That's my attitude. It rubs some people the wrong way, but I don't really care. That's just how I am. But I'm also humble enough to know that I can't get to those places without people.
Right.
And so even when I receive the opportunities, that's someone extending something to me. I do have a great support system, lots and lots of friends, lots of family, lots of people who care about me from abroad, distance, close. So when I say I've taken it, it's things that I really want. I go after it, and those people support me. And sometimes they take risks with me without their permission. I just kind of do that,
Right.
like my kids, for example.
Yeah.
And so, even my fiance and so all the people around me, they take risks, with me. So I think that's important to just go get it. And just because you're alone doesn't mean you are alone. You're just currently alone. Doesn't mean that didn't make any sense. What I meant was just because you're alone doing it doesn't mean that you don't have people around you, so you're not really alone.
Right.
They want you to have success. They want you to foster growth and grow as well. So all of those things are going to come to you. And, being that you're in this infant stage, you have the ability to mold it however you want to. And people may support you at times, they may not. You may find yourself kind of without customer or clientele, and there'll be times where it's going so great you're thinking of growing. And how you navigate through that is how you navigate through it, and that's part of your journey.
Absolutely.
And so, what I would say to myself in 20 years is, I hope you're standing here reading this without any regrets.
That's huge.
Regret is one of those things that we all experience.
Right.
I should have made that light. That can be regret, and that can build.
Mm-hmm.
And so remaining positive about it by saying, well, whoever is the engineer of that light, it doesn't really matter. They're home sleeping or whatever. That's kind of how I look at things. I went off in a different direction and tangent, but just when I hear you say that your business is that old, at a month, I don't think I slept at all. I think I spent the entire first year in panic. And so you seem to have it together for a person that's in business for a month. I think that's impressive.
Balancing that. Trust me, there's definitely some internal struggle. Hours, lost, hours of sleep that, have been lost, and a lot of inner turmoil, conflict, that type of thing. So definitely the struggle is there for real. I'm just kind of in the balancing stage, and, there's so much you can control. So it's like, keep pushing forward, do what you're doing. I'm making the contacts, I'm doing the backside of things, plus, the the front end. And for me too, it's like, I may not have the people coming in my door, that I want at this present moment, but the doors are still open.
Sure.
So I hold class just on schedule, just as it is intended. The doors are open. I have to get my workout in regardless. So if nobody shows up, the door's still open, and I'm getting my workout in. So again, it's like, that's my lifestyle. That's why I started, doing what I'm doing and becoming a trainer, because I'm going to change someone else's life. We just got to get to that next.
They just have to know that you're there.
Right.
Right. So visibility. You ever feel like giving up on this, doing something else?
Being so fresh, I'm very much considering that kind of, here and there. So I was asked by a family member, and they said, well, now that you're paying 2 rents, 2, electric bills, to this, to that, can you sleep in your studio? Like, can you live there? I said, well, that's very much a reasonable, realistic question, at this point. But yeah, I have second guessing, doubting myself. My family is extremely concerned. Again, they're not local, so they're watching me on social media as well. But that's kind of the gist of what they can get from it. So
you can always write on a marker and hold it up to a camera, send help.
Right, SOS.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of every entrepreneurial journey. I mean, I slept in my office for a couple of weeks. I didn't even have a car.
Mm-hmm.
And I had children.
Yeah.
And so it gets tough, but those are the times where you look back during your success and you say, this is what I can use to help other people, to inspire them. Right? If everyone that started a business, if it was just great and there was no issue and their business just grew and blossomed and they became well off, financially stable, I wouldn't believe any of that.
Right. Yeah.
That's
everybody would be
not
doing
how
it.
entrepreneurship works.
No.
Not at all. Especially starting from nothing. And if you start where you have just a little bit of seed money, you don't have water money, you don't have tending money, you don't have pull the weeds money. So some people do, and that's great for them. But I think the best stories come where the person started it with
ground
effort.
zero.
Yeah, ground zero.
Well,
effort.
That's
love.
very much how it happened for me. So it was something that, of course, having that certification, this was my next goal. This was the next step. However, the space was presented to me at a little bit of a convenience, I guess you could say. So it was through a mutual contact. Such a good deal that I couldn't pass it up. So it's almost to the point where I wasn't ready. I wasn't planned. I'm still in the getting everything put together, my business plan, presenting that. I am going for some government grants, women-owned businesses, that type of thing. So that's in the works as well on the back end. That's another, kind of thing that I'm working on myself. But I've liked to have been much more prepared and planned and financially set, absolutely. But it's something, again, where it was opportunity. And if I didn't take it, then, who knows? So definitely I'm to the point where I'm looking at, finding supplemental income until...
Do you have a job now?
I have 2 part-time jobs, looking at a 3rd part-time.
What?
Yes.
That's like a full and a half time job.
That's where the whole sleeping, like you had mentioned, comes into effect. So it's like I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping myself well upstairs, like I referred to. So again, a 3rd part-time job, it's not out of the question. I've been looking, but I need to not spread myself so thin that I can't tend to the business, because then I'm not myself. I'm not the person that would be training. I'm not selling the best version of myself and my services. So I'm kind of balancing that out right now.
I don't know. My advice should be taken with a grain of salt. Always. I think if you had 3 full-time jobs, then you should close your business, because you have to care enough about your business to make those sacrifices.
Right.
Easier said than done when the lights are off or the phone's disconnected.
Yep.
I get it. But if you're putting that amount of time into someone else's business, put that amount of time into yours, you reap 100% of the benefit.
That's where I'm at. I'm hitting the ground running.
Not easy.
No, definitely not. And
I feel like this is a different type of show. This is a different type of show here. It's interesting, like I said, because I've never really spoken with anyone on the show that had, this particular situation. And so I think what you're doing is courageous. You could easily fall back into your comfort zone of working, and you can go home. Many people that come to Florida think, I have retired, I've made it, this is
Sunshine
awesome.
State,
Yeah.
365 days of
And then
summer.
they get a $7 an hour job like mom, send money.
Yeah.
They're eating
Ramen noodles.
ramen noodles. Yeah. Or, ramen noodles, I don't eat them anymore because of the sodium content, but they're delicious.
Well, and you mix them up, right? So
Some
it's
people
like
think they're
you can get
plastic.
pretty creative.
Put them in the wok. Cook
Just
them just
saying.
al dente and then put them in the
Oh
wok.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So
Anyway,
good.
that's it. But like I said, I felt like this was turning into a different show. But I want to share your journey, not tell you what to do. Obviously, I'm not
For sure.
qualified to do that. I don't even half the time know what I'm doing.
Well, and I think too, reverting back to the, lifestyle and changes and kind of the way that you live while you're starting up. So it's almost like and I've been at this situation before in my young adulthood, which I make that sound like I'm so old.
How old are you?
I'm about to be 33.
Okay.
But, early adulthood, again, through different, decisions that we make that put us, where we are. I'm kind of to the point where, okay, so do I get that third job? Okay, so I have to keep myself healthy, well, right upstairs in order to, produce and again sell myself and my services. So it's again a lot of that balance. So do I overwork myself, so to speak, to make ends meet, to get the finances, until my business builds, and we mentioned ramen noodles, I mean, the food pantry is real. I'll just say that, So again, I have to keep myself eating well. At the same time, there's some struggle.
There
sure.
should be struggle. I
And
mean, the
if
adversity.
you don't, then
It's going to give you options. And I couldn't tell a person not to take a job and try to build their business. I wouldn't take a job. I would work on building my business. My dad used to say, if you build swimming pools, build one in your own backyard. Again, but I don't know how dire anyone else's situation is. I know that mine is, I closed my practice, which was doing rather well in February. And so I haven't really worked then. A couple things here and there, but we're focusing on this podcast and our mastermind groups. So I'm able to give it a lot more than I was before. And I think that will be able to breed some resistance and persistence. It's important to have that. So if you had, let's say you had $25,000 liquid asset donation or found it on the street, what are you going to do with that?
oh gosh. That's a great question.
Well,
It really is.
I could have said 500,000. 25 is right there where it's not enough to do a ton, but it's enough to do some.
Well, no, and it's, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that because obviously starting a business, you go through, okay, like what's the next step? Okay, the next step's get a business loan, get yourself ready, get yourself situated, get yourself
Do they even do
starting
any more business loans?
Well, they do,
I haven't heard
but
of
not
anyone
for
getting.
startup. Not
Yeah.
for startup. No
Yeah.
way. You have to be, in business for 3 years. I get all that. You have to have tax documentation to, back everything up. So I totally get that. And for me, it was just something where it was like, check it off the list. Like I checked to see if I, qualified, what was available to me. Check, nothing. All right, let's go. That's why I'm now in the process of getting in on grants, women-owned businesses, small business, that type of thing. So I'm really kind of doing a lot of homework on that. And I should be back to Tampa here fairly soon because once everything's put together, I will be presenting that for a group of investors. So that's coming up here soon as well. But there's definitely a lot,
Wait a minute, a group of investors?
It's I'm learning more about it, but people are giving me information and it's called SCORE.
Oh yeah, SCORE.
So I'm learning all this, right? So this is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, SCORE. They're like a group of retired business owners that help other businesses.
Yes.
Huh.
And again, by me being an outsider, I'm like going to be presenting and taking that next level too. Just as soon as I can get there, right? So again, it's like I don't have time to be again working for somebody else. That's why I did this.
Yeah.
So it's hustle. It's, you
Yeah.
know.
Entrepreneurship, working, 80 hours for yourself so you don't have to work 40 for anyone else.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. So tell us more about this area of expertise that you have. Obviously, you have the studio. That's a wellness studio. Um, what does the typical day look like, or a typical workout look like for someone who wants to try it?
Well, I do offer free complimentary, let me use that word, complimentary consultation. So for the consultation, it's 45 minutes approximately. Get to know, the client. Basically, we're going through health history, injuries, that type of thing, what their current active activity level is, a little bit of their background as well. So I'm not specific to targeting, moms, but let's face it, when children are in the picture, your lifestyle is different. You're cooking, you're active with them, you're feeding them, that type of thing. So I consider all that as well and try
Is
to
that your
fit that.
niche? Like moms?
I'm looking more into that,
Oh,
starting a mom's group. So I'm kind of
okay.
reaching out like on Facebook groups to moms. But what's funny is they say the administrators want to ask you a few questions. So then they're like, well, how old is your child? Well, don't
Well,
fit into that criteria. So, but yeah, my first event that I'm looking to host, I'm just kind of coordinating everybody's availability, is a self-defense class, a women's self-defense class.
are you a martial artist?
I am not. I do have a lot of interest in that. So I do, I've done kickboxing before. And then I don't know if you're familiar with P90X. Most people are.
Yeah.
I love P90X.
I'm an insanity guy. I
Ah,
used to do
okay.
insanity all the time.
Well, I love Tony Horton. I call him Uncle Tony.
Okay.
Him and I are like this. But I've gone through that so many times, but I know that it works. And it always resets me by being put on that schedule, right? So it's just something where things are chaotic. You're getting in your workout here, maybe skipping a day, or you're like, okay, it's cardio, but I don't have time for cardio. I'm going to do this, that. So I always use P90X to get back on track. But one of the sessions that they do there is Kempo, kicking and punching, which such a stress reliever for myself. So I get into just the basics of martial arts. I'm open to more, but there's a gentleman that he was a police officer, so retired police officer. He does concealed carry. So he hosts his own classes. He goes to the gun range, that type of thing. But he also does self-defense. So I'm looking at bringing him in as a guest instructor and incorporating my services as well. So starting possibly that mommy's group kind of focus, but creating awareness while you're out and about, which is crazy because even when him and I sat down to consult, we were at Panera Bread, and we just happened to be right there in front of the glass window. And we're talking, drinking our coffee, breaks, honking the horn. We're just like, what? This girl, she has a purse that is way too big, holding it down here on her phone. Then she's squinting because she can't see because of the sun, and crossing at the same time. And I'm just like, no. Like, that's where it starts. You have to create that awareness. So that's kind of the goal with that. And then especially with the moms group. So it's like you have children, you're not only looking out for yourself, but also for the, child as you're getting them in and out of the carrier, the car, that type of thing. So that's kind of the next big thing for Radiant One Studios, is to get, the self-defense group and class together. That's going to be here in the next couple weeks, again, just solidifying everybody's availability. But that's something that I hope to introduce maybe once a month.
I think that's a good idea. And, maybe some college students might be a good idea to target them. I like the idea of becoming niche, because when you do that, you get a smaller amount of people, but more loyalty.
I agree. And that's what, other people have said to me, especially from the networking groups. So with that too, it's like I've been doing a lot of webinars, that type of thing. So
Taking them or giving them?
Taking them.
Okay.
For sure, taking them. But, gathering a lot from that. And one gal, she had said, find your target market, quit confusing, your potential clients. Focus on, that one group that you're trying to reach out to. So for me, I like the whole support thing. And with that, like, I'm not strictly a women's facility. But I do strongly believe in the empowerment of women and us coming together, because I feel like a lot of times, again, with that competition, like we just find ourselves like comparing and, always being on that type of level. And we're, we're supposed to, I don't know, I just believe that we're supposed to be there, for one another, just
Sure.
even as individuals, but, specifically women. And I also do group fitness classes at all women's gym currently to supplement my income.
I always tease about the all women's gym. I'm like, that's discriminatory. I want to go in there and work out. You can't restrict women from a gym, can you?
That's a good question.
I don't think you can. I tease about it. It doesn't really
No,
bother
but
me.
I mean, no, that's like realistic,
Do you have an avatar? Do you know what an avatar is?
the little characters.
Well,
Is that
yeah.
what that
Well, an
is?
avatar is the number one person for your business. Like,
No.
absolutely, if I had to choose one particular client, just one, that's very specific, who would that be? And I'm not talking about a mom from 27 to 33, because that
Right.
would be 6 people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one. So we can talk behind the scenes about that. I might be able to share some insight about that with
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with
And
that.
so you work at an all women's gym, right?
I do. I
It's not
do
Shapes,
group class.
is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is
Well,
Shapes.
that's the only all women's gym that I know of.
Well, there's
Used to be Jack LaLanne.
Curves, I guess.
Oh
There's
wait,
Curves also.
Curves,
Yeah,
yeah.
Curves actually was up north. So when I hear Curves down here, I'm like, is this up north, or does it really exist down here?
It used to, I know. Couple closed.
I was going to say, I'm not sure where the closest one might be, but I know that there's a lot of Shapes franchises. But I teach at the one in St. Pete. And again, like just women coming together, on the same wavelength. And then my other part-time job is actually at a lingerie shop. So again, kind of
Like
the women.
selling lingerie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's for full-figured women, but then also too.
What? Wait a minute. You're super thin. You're selling lingerie.
But look, I came from that place, right? So it's like, I don't know. I believe.
Yeah, but it's where you are now. Do you do well there? Like, do they take your advice?
Well, I've actually just recently kind of started there.
Okay.
I've been there for a couple of months. But not only do we do full-figured women, but also women who have had mastectomies.
Okay.
So, cancer patients, that type of thing. So, again, being there for just a couple months, but I assist in sizing, measuring, that type of thing. And then we just became Medicare accredited. So basically people, can be reimbursed for the cost of getting prosthetic breasts.
Okay, so do you guys have, or does this space have lingerie that is specifically designed for women that have had mastectomies?
Yes.
We should be talking more about that too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's very helpful. I know they've made bras in the past where they're padded with silicone and such.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our forms, and that's exactly what they're called. I call them prosthetics, but they're also called forms medically. But the forms come separately. So obviously, you're not going to need, well, not everybody's going to need 2, right? So maybe you just need 1, that type of thing. So basically that will be fit into the bra itself. So they come with like the little holders or whatever that you can fit the prosthetic into. So it's kind of a 2-step process. No pun intended on that, really, but
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of reward for me. But again, it's that women-based, support that I come from in many different, aspects. So
Is there like a non-compete clause that you have with this particular place?
no.
I mean, I think you have a funnel right there of women that are coming out of something and they can use that mind, body, spirit wellness portion. Something to consider as well, right? I mean, have
Definitely.
you ever considered that?
I have. I don't want to, I guess for me, so it's like, again, being there fairly new, couple months, I don't want to cross, my 2.
No, I meant like speaking to them, saying, "Hey, this is," meaning the business owners.
Oh, okay.
This is something that I do that might be helpful to offer that and partner together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This became a thing of me just trying to give you advice. I don't know where we turned, but I think that's very interesting, that lingerie part, because initially I thought lingerie to full-figured women, but it's much more important than just that.
Yeah. there's different aspects, different criteria that people fall into. And, we sell more than just for large breasted women. We have, smaller sizes, that type of thing too. And the cliche that, oh, you work in a lingerie shop. Well, you let your imagination go a little crazy sometimes, or people can, and they've been like, well, Rachel, where is it that you work? Like, what exactly do you do? It's not crazy, right? It's not some adult superstore, so to
Even if it
speak.
is, what's crazy about that?
I've had people kind of like raise an eyebrow, and to each their own, right? But like, there's so much of a stigma as far as, oh, well, you work at a lingerie shop. No, dig into it a little bit more, because again, there's a lot of reward there for what I do, and women come to me in their most vulnerable, moment. So it means a lot to me to be able to assist them in any way.
I think that's good work. That's important work. The things that are overlooked,
Yeah.
we don't pay attention to that as much.
Yeah.
We think of, if you've had a mastectomy, you just, had your breast removed, and then that's it. You just have 2 scars to replace it. But there's a lifetime of recovery that's necessary for those things.
Physical recovery as well as mental.
Yeah.
Like I said, I keep targeting on that, but there's a lot of where that comes from too. And it's crazy with mastectomy patients, but also patients that aren't under those circumstances. Again, you get them in a vulnerable moment. You're in the dressing room with them. You're sizing them. The interaction that you have with them, that changes their day, right? And so many people, because it's right across from Tyrone Mall. So over there, you've got JCPenney's, you've got Dillard's, you've got, whatever. So they do sizing over there. I do believe that it's different because they don't offer such a wide variety of sizes like we do. But a lot of times they're sent from over there to us for larger sizes. But one of the things I hear the most, even in such a short period of time of being with them, is that, it's the experience, right here being with you. And I said, it's the service, right?
Sure.
The service that we offer, you make people feel like they don't belong anywhere else. Like, this was meant for you. Like, you were meant to come here today. You were meant to interact with me. You were meant to let me assist you, right? And even if they walk out, no purchase has been made, we're not making any money, that still is, it's game changing for me and the customer too, So
I think you just expressed to yourself what separates you from all of those other trainers and studios. I think that's what you just did there.
I think so too.
Yeah. So tell people how to find you before we wrap up.
Yeah, so I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, Radiant One Studios, as well as Instagram, Radiant One Studios. I also have a personal page, Rachel Ledford, Ledford. You could find me at either page there. I'm also on YouTube under Radiant One Studios as well. A few other things I have kind of going behind the scenes, but my studio is at 6798 Crossman's Drive. That's going to be North Suite B204. It is an upstairs unit. I like to make sure people are aware of that, because if for any reason you have, trouble getting up the stairs, I just like people to be aware of that. Hopefully it's temporary. Hopefully I get so big that I need
to build a facility.
Right, that I need a bigger studio, and then I'm going to get all my equipment, all that. So
yeah, like a gymnasium size.
Right. Currently I'm working with 700 square foot. And I'll tell you this, a little background piece of me is my studio space is larger than my apartment. Just saying.
Okay.
Put that in a little perspective.
Well,
here.
your apartment is not going to make you money, so.
Well, it's really not. And really it might be temporary because, like we said, we can sleep in the studio if worst case scenario.
If you need to.
Right?
If you need
I'm not too proud.
Well, then, you have adversity and it helps you grow.
Absolutely.
It helps you develop resources from nothing. Instead of, getting something from someone, you can say, well, I've been through this, so how much worse can it be?
Right.
It could always be worse, but I've experienced this and I'm not afraid.
Absolutely.
So that's great. Well, thanks for coming all the way across the pond.
Much. Yes, for having me.
The traffic probably was not so great.
Not horrible, actually. I left plenty in advance. It was more or less just the parking.
Okay.
And, not only did I have to use the bathroom, but I was like so anxious to get up here, pumping my coffee. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming out. Rachel Ledford, Radiant One Studios, ladies and gentlemen.
The Radiant One.
Thanks.